What is the best way to combat a labor shortage in Canada?
I don't know. I think people will get back to work. The pandemic has caused a lot of problems, a lot of different things like that. But I think we're over it. People start to get back to work and get back to a normal life.
For me, it would apply not only to Canada but the US and even my old country back in the Philippines that when times are difficult, I think you should borrow money, do all the public works. The roads are in bad state all over Canada. We need bridges, we need improvements in airports and ports. So just borrow the money, get that done, and when things get better, I think it'll be easier to do business and invite foreign investors.
Immigration, uh, training. I think training. We have a huge First Nations community that I think should be trained to in all kinds of trades. Uh, those are, I think, your only two options.
I think I think the best thing, like people become invested in the place where they work if they have shares in the place where they work. So if your business is doing well, that should reflect on your employees' income. And I think the government can help and give businesses incentives to do that. So that would be my approach.
I feel that in order to combat a labor shortage, we should be allowing more immigrants into the country, people that want to promote their skills and be recognized for the skills they've had in their homeland in order to fulfill much needed um, work shortages in Canada.
I would say to raise up the pay. I don't think that there's pay is enough for like the rental rates or for food costs that are going up, and there's just so much that's going on right now. So yeah, definitely raising the hourly pay. Yeah.
I think a lot of labor jobs don't come with benefits. And so just adding those would be obviously beneficial to everybody. People would get their labor, laborers would have reason to go to those jobs aside from wages, which I mean, a lot of people will make close to that on unemployment or welfare or whatever. A lot of people cheat the systems, but the benefits would be, I think, would weigh hugely in the difference of our labor rates.
No incentive to get back to work.
Yeah.
We need more incentive to get back to work. So that could be a couple things, like you said, certainly the money issue, and maybe some of the wages need to be increased. I mean, look at our medical field. It's terrible what we pay our healthcare workers and even our first responders. So maybe increasing wages.
For there, I would probably go with incentives for certain jobs. Yeah, to encourage people to do certain tasks because they're not all wanted, you know.
Interesting enough, I'm part of Generation X. So looking at the younger generations, a lot of them feel unvalued, and they're really, through social media sharing information around what value looks like in today's society. And to address the labor shortage, I think that companies really need to get on brand and really provide a full circle reality to its employees. Some of that is healthcare, benefits, higher wages. Again, going back to what you were talking about earlier about how do we address inflation, how do we address the current reality that we find ourselves in where we're being priced out of our lives, is really comes down to creating an equitable workplace.
Say you hire immigration is probably a good thing, but you got to get the ducks in order, have the housing first. So we're kind of caught in a pickle now where we brought in a lot of people, but at the same time we have to meet that housing demand. And how are we going to do that? We need more skilled laborers. Very difficult question.
Even in my field, I'm in the construction industry. It's really hard to fill a spot, and you walk around town and there's signs for jobs and employment just about everywhere. But I think the problem is we really need to work towards paying a living wage so that people can sustain themselves. I mean, to ask someone to, spend 6-7 hours of their day at minimum wage and, they have to run around to 3 or 4 jobs doesn't really create the freedom that we have as Canadians for the majority of us. So yeah, we need to pay a living wage to people.
Well, I guess, immigration could be a way, right? I think there's like probably a lot of talented and competent people wanting to live in Canada and be able to contribute to our economy. So I would think that could be something that could be explored.
Yeah, maybe being more lax on labor laws, immigration. Yeah, in that sense, I don't have the solution, but something needs to be
It's a
done.
tough problem to tackle.